The next chapter is about to begin. Join us live every Tuesday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the American Contractor Show. Our mission is to bring you the latest tools, innovations, and knowledge to help you become the most informed contractor in your market. Knowledge is the ultimate power, and we are connecting you with the most knowledgeable minds in our industry. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. American Contractors, I hope you're ready. This one's for you.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager. But we weren't advised. The things that they pertain DMO to RF and get charging the companies on board.
There we go. That was weird. Hey guys, this is our daily hail forecast here on this Monday, July 6th. So as I'm lead meteorologist John Choquette, and thanks to C3 Group, unfortunately your ad had some kind of technical issues there. Merlin Law Group and our Settlement Imbalance Claims, you can check them out in the description below if you're watching us here on our Hail Trace Facebook page. Jumping right into it today, folks, our weather headlines here. We're talking about more basically the same in terms of where the severe weather is located for we've had the last week or two. Rapid City once again at risk for some hail this evening, and is really focusing in on those northern plains and parts of the northeast where chances for hail. And we're also finally going to check in or say hello and goodbye to Tropical Storm Edouard. We had that form last night, and it's very quickly going to not be an issue anymore, and I'll show you that in just a second here. So we're going to jump right into the forecast for today, assuming the computer will let me do it. Seems like we're having a couple loading issues here. Can we get it to go? Either way, we have a chance for hail here. There we go, in the northern plains and parts of the northeast. This looks really familiar to probably, if you've watched these videos last week or two, it's pretty much been here and over there. And that's really all that we're expecting is a chance for some storms. Looks like some pretty potent storms in far eastern sections of Montana, and they'll move towards western South Dakota. So Rapid City, you have that moderate chance of possibly up to some tennis ball size hail anywhere in the most significant hatch zone. Low chance for Billings. Looks like the storm's going to form primarily to your east. And we could also even see some storms late tonight over by Sioux Falls. This will be well after midnight as a complex forms across South Dakota and pushes towards Sioux Falls. And an outside chance a storm or two could form in and around the Minneapolis area. And finally here in the northeast, we're already looking at some storms trying to bubble up anywhere from the New York metro area down through about DC. So the big I-95 corridor really looks like we could see a chance for, again, kind of similar we've been seeing the last few days, up to some quarter, maybe some $half size hail, gusty winds, and heavy rain. So going more into city-specific forecasts for Rapid City. Can I get this going? My computer's running a little slow today, but Rapid City, again, you got that chance this evening anywhere from about 6 to about 9 p.m. tonight, I believe. Well, if it actually shows up on the screen, did I remember what I said? Yeah, 6 to 9, I did it. And up to tennis ball size hail. Could see, again, at least 1-inch hail. Got a high and moderate chance. I think the biggest question for this evening is going to be whether or not the storms actually impact Rapid City itself. If they go just north or just south, it's not a whole lot around them. So it kind of really either hit it or they don't. And if it does get impacted, pretty good chance of kind of upwards of golf ball size hail with it as well. That max chance, again, up to tennis ball size. Looking at that future radar, again, seems like we're a little bit of a time delay today with our chances for storms. So I'm going to spin wheels a little bit here. There we go. Future radar for the northeast. Those storms forming next hour or two across New Jersey and parts of Pennsylvania and Maryland. Again, up to that $half size hail and the strongest cells that get going. Overall, more of a wind threat and heavy rain, lots of lightning with these storms. And they'll quickly wind down, well, right around sunset. They'll either move off the coast or just kind of die with the lack of heating from the sun. Going over to the west now in the northern plains, see those storms forming in Montana, and then they push south into South Dakota, and then after that turn into a complex of storms in the overnight hours, and that's where you can see storms over by Sioux Falls. And even when we roll back at the beginning of this loop, you see those storms forming across Minnesota. Those could have $half size hail, possibly golf balls if there's one cell that gets particularly strong, but otherwise more scattered thunder showers than the more intense stuff that's going to be off to the west. And then finally, we're going to push all the way to the northwest to show the rest of Montana, where we could have that chance for some storms forming as well over the course of this evening, with possibly, I think, forming over by Idaho and then pushing off mostly to the north of Billings. So it's going to be a lot of prairie lands getting impacted with those storms this afternoon. So pushing forward to tomorrow, it's going to look pretty similar to today. They're going to take away the northeast risk and focus more just on Montana specifically. We could have another chance for some pretty big hail, upwards of tennis ball size, maybe just north of Billings. This may meander south into possibly the Billings area. Low chance right now. We'll see if that evolves going into tomorrow. Chance again, Rapid City, Bismarck, Fargo, maybe even Minneapolis. This is kind of same story, different day in terms of where the chances of hail are going to be. Possibly again on Wednesday. Looks like it'll shift a little further to the east and maybe put Minneapolis more at play for your Wednesday. Future radar showing for tomorrow. Very similar storms forming in the late afternoon, evening hours, parts of Montana into the Dakotas. This one was more focused into the Montana region compared to today's forecast. If we are able to get the future radar for mostly Montana to load here. Can it go? Yeah. Holiday weekend. Apparently the computer had too many hot dogs this weekend or something. It ran a little slow this morning. So Montana also has a chance for those storms again after the early afternoon into the evening hours, where they're blowing up over parts of Montana there, and you see them taking off maybe towards Billings. Billings is right over in here, so we'll see if that can impact there. I think other areas like Butte and Bozeman also at risk for Montana. And finally, a check-in here with Tropical Storm Eduard. You probably haven't really heard about this. It formed last night about 11 o'clock p.m. A little junky little tropical storm way out in the North Atlantic. Way out in the North Atlantic. As of 11 a.m., has only 45-mile-per-hour winds, and it's going to shoot off towards Europe, get subtropical probably today, and that'll be it. We got to the E. And that was really, it was pretty similar to what we have Tropical Storm Dolly a couple weeks ago. And now it looks like upside, all that Saharan dust has pushed away, and we're seeing more chances for storms to form in the typical development area in the central Atlantic. We'll be keeping an eye on that through the rest of this week. And there's also a chance we could see something form off the coast of the Carolinas later on this week. We'll talk more about that tomorrow if it gets a little more interesting as we get a little closer to the potential for some development. So the tropics are starting to wake up here in July. We're already at E. I mean, we knew it would be a busy year, and so far nothing too crazy yet, but I think now that we're actually getting to July, and then once we get into August especially, the hurricane chances are going to go up quite a bit as we get more into traditional peak season for hurricanes. So that's all I got for you guys today. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you guys view your social media outside of probably TikTok. We're going to be on there. So search at Hailtrace and hit see first on Facebook so you don't miss any of our posts, whether it's new storms, live coverage, whatever it may be. You don't want to miss anything that we put on there. It pops right up top of your newsfeed. And if you want to give us a call, 855-334-4245 is the number to give us a call at. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, need a step of training, whatever it may be, we're here to answer your questions. You can email us as well at info@hailtrace.com and visit our website at hailtrace.com for more details. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July holiday. Looking forward to, hopefully, fingers crossed, an active July here for severe weather. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. like we are every single weekday. Hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon.